Afternoon, Constable. Hello there. No, the door's locked, mate. Why are you trying to open the door, Constable?
Sorry?
Can you give me a name and number, please? Right, I've got your number. Why are you trying to open the door?
I hope you don't intend to put that on YouTube.
It's nothing to do with whether I do or not.
Why?
Because I'm lawfully allowed to. This man stopped me for being overweight. You can clearly see I'm not overweight. It's an absolute fallacy. So we can get his bit over and done with, and then everyone will be happy.
Okay.
Right, fair enough then, Constable. Thank you very much. No problem whatsoever. No problem whatsoever, Constable.
Okay.
There's no malice or injustice towards you today.
My colleague got your driving licence?
No, he has not.
Has he requested your driving licence?
He said, and I asked him, am I obliged to give my details until he's done his bit? And he walked off. He didn't say anything else.
You are obliged to do that. So if an officer requests your driving licence,
and if I haven't got it on me, what happens?
Obliged to do so.
And if I do not have it with me?
If you haven't, then you're required to give us your name and address and your date of birth.
I don't have to give my date of birth, Constable.
Yes,
Under what law?
If you do not produce your driving licence,
under what law?
You are obliged.
Under what law, Constable?
Under the Road Traffic Act.
That's an act, Constable, not law.
Under the Road
That's an act, Constable. That's an act.
The moment the officer reaches for the van door without saying a word, the interaction is already off track. News Now Yorkshire shows how you don't begin by interfering with someone's property and explain it afterward. Engagement should start with clarity, not assumption. Then comes the familiar fallback, invoking the Road Traffic Act 1988 as if simply naming it creates authority. But legislation doesn't work like that. It isn't a blanket power. It's a collection of specific sections, each with defined conditions that must be met before any action is taken. Jay calling that out is key. When asked to identify the actual section being relied upon, the officer can't do it. That absence matters, because if a power genuinely applied, it would be easy to name and explain. Instead, the explanation stays vague. That's where the interaction shifts from clarity to confidence. Rather than grounding actions in a clearly defined legal basis, it leans on assertion. And when authority is asserted without being properly articulated, it raises immediate questions about whether it exists at all.
Obliged to
That's an act, Constable. It's an act.
Address if you cannot produce your driving
It's an act, Constable. It's an act, not law. Please distinguish it. No, it's not law of the country, Constable. It's an act made by Parliament. It's not law.
If you don't do so...
It's not law.
If you do not do so...
It's not law.
Just let me finish. If you do not do so, the officer may arrest you.
Under what law? Under what law?
He may arrest you.
Under what law?
I'm just telling you.
Under what law, though, Constable?
I'm just telling you.
Please explain under what law.
I'm just telling you what will happen. Front wheels onto the weighing plate.
Do not demand I do anything, Constable. There's nothing taking place
Put
here.
your wheels onto the weighing plate.
Is that a demand or a request? Yeah, I understand that. But why is your constable trying to open my van doors as well? What, for what lawful reason did your another constable trying to open my door?
I didn't see that, so I was inside.
Well, it's on film, so I've got it on film. I've got his number.
Now that I'm here.
Where do you want me to stop?
Now that I'm here.
Yeah, I fully understand.
You do what I ask you.
I am. I've been compliant.
I want to get you on your way.
Yeah.
I need to see the weighing certificate on the side of your car. Is all right?
You know this van don't do it. I've got the MOT in here somewhere, so I'll give you that.
I need to know your weights.
I'll give you the MOT. That says it on it.
MOT, what are the weights on it?
Right, no, Constable. I'm not overweight.
I need to see your weights.
I'm not overweight.
I need to know if you've committed an offence or not. And
I'm not overweight.
Long enough to make sure you haven't.
The shifting story is the clearest sign that nothing solid is underpinning the interaction. News Now Yorkshire shows how one moment arrest is being hinted at, and the next there's still no offence identified and no specific power explained. Threatening arrest without stating what for is an authority. It's pressure, used in the hope that compliance fills the gap where legal ground should be. That becomes even more obvious when the second officer steps in and asks for a weighing slip to check whether an offense has even occurred. That sequence matters. You don't escalate first and then start looking for evidence afterward. The order is supposed to be the opposite. Grounds first, action second. If the van were genuinely suspected of being overweight, the relevant power would already be clear, and the approach would reflect that certainty. Instead, it looks like they're trying to work backward from a conclusion, searching for something that might justify the earlier stance. They tee that point. The interaction stops looking like enforcement based on known facts and starts to resemble guesswork, where possibilities are explored after the pressure has already been applied.
You can let me see the weight on
your
door.
So you can gain access to the vehicle while I'm in here, Constable. That's all it's to do with.
You can let me open the door.
Am I overweight?
Without checking your plate, how can I tell?
Am I overweight?
I need to see your weights on your vehicle to know what you're allowed. I can't make it up.
I've got the logbook here.
It won't be on your logbook.
It will. The van weight's on the logbook.
Okay. May I look at that then?
The van weight's on the logbook.
All right.
Now I'm going to have a look first though, Constable.
A bit unnecessary.
No, Constable.
Why is that?
It's unnecessary. You saying I'm overweight when you think I'm overweight.
I form an opinion.
No. Don't even start that one now.
No.
No.
I thought you were speeding. I have to form that opinion.
Revenue weight gross weight 3,500 kilograms.
But I need to know what your axles are.
3,500 kilograms is what I'm allowed.
That's the vehicle.
No, Constable.
I need to know what each individual axle is, of weighs in
Well,
each
you best
individual
go
axle.
can you go and check up on your database, please?
No, I haven't got access. It's on your van.
Can you go and check up on
It's
your
on your
database,
van.
Constable?
I'll have to keep you here for an indefinite period then, until you let me look at your van.
Well, that's as may be, Constable, but it's on the logbook and it says I'm 3,000.
Why are you being so unreasonable?
Because you're pulling me for something that hasn't happened, Constable.
The moment actual documents come into play, the earlier confidence starts to fade. News Now Yorkshire shows how Jay refuses access to the van, but provides the logbook instead, the official document that sets out the vehicle's weight. That should narrow things down immediately. Instead of engaging with that evidence, the officer admits he's acting on an opinion. That line exposes the issue. An opinion is an evidence, and it doesn't outweigh documented information or systems already available to verify details. Jay even points them toward their own database to check it properly, offering a clear path to resolve the question. Rather than take that route, the response shifts back into pressure, threats of being kept there and suggestions that Jay is being unreasonable. That flips the situation on its head. When someone provides verifiable information and encourages proper checks, that's cooperation, not obstruction. At that stage, the interaction stops being about establishing facts and starts revolving around maintaining control. And when evidence is available but ignored, it raises serious questions about whether the goal is clarity or simply compliance.
Blatantly hasn't happened.
Okay. How can I establish that without bringing you to somewhere like this?
Because you should already have this on your bits, Constable, whether you can know whether people are or not.
Would you let me see the plate on your van? That will sort it out within 10 seconds and then you can go.
I don't trust you, Constable.
You don't what?
I don't trust none of your corporation, Constable.
You don't trust me?
No.
Why is that? What have I done to make you distrust me?
Well, several things what are going on recent in the papers and everything else.
Have
on
you
the
ever
news.
Met me before?
It's nothing to do with that.
Have I ever met you before?
It's the name of
So
the
why should I
corporation.
treat you any different to anybody
It's the
else?
name of the corporation, Constable. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. The name of the corporation has taken a bad name.
I don't understand what you're trying to tell me.
Your corporation has took a bad name for.
What's my corporation?
The police.
I need to know your axles.
No, it needs to know the weight of the whole thing.
Some axle weights.
It's giving the weight of the whole thing. We'll weigh the whole van then.
I've just weighed your front axle.
Right.
I've weighed your rear axle.
Right.
Together is your overall weight.
Right.
But then each axle has a restriction on how much it can carry. And I need to know if the weights that it's told me.
At this stage, it becomes persistence without a clear purpose. News Now Yorkshire shows how, even after the paperwork is produced and the vehicle's weight is accounted for, the officer continues pushing for access to the van, as if gaining entry has become the goal in itself. Jay's refusal and lack of trust don't come out of nowhere. They reflect how the stop has unfolded, from vague reasoning to shifting justifications. When the focus suddenly pivots to axle weight, it reinforces that pattern. You don't change the basis of a stop unless the original line of reasoning has fallen apart. The vehicle has already been assessed as a whole through official documentation. Breaking it down into new angles without clear cause doesn't look like structured enforcement. It looks like an attempt to keep the interaction going after the initial suspicion no longer holds. To that point, the issue isn't about uncovering a specific offense. It's about sustaining the stop, even when the foundation for it has already been addressed.
Determine that information, it is literally inside your door.
Yeah, inside the door. Inside the door, Constable.
Well, will you let me look at it?
I'm not obliged to let you in my vehicle, Constable, when you can do this from there.
Okay.
You can do this from there, Constable.
Sorry?
You can do this from there.
From where?
You know whether the whole van, if that back axle overweighs, it would weigh it total. It's not the axle, it's what's in on top of the axle.
But each axle has a restriction.
Whatever is sitting on the back of that top axle would overweigh that bridge if it was overweight in total. Absolute guaranteed.
But
I understand how weigh bridges work.
Each axles can be different weights.
Right.
You're very light on your front.
Right, so that's perfectly alright. So there's nothing wrong with the front. So
but
now
you're heavy on your back.
No,
so
I'm
I
not.
need to know what it is on the back.
It's not heavy on the back, it's just proved it on there.
Sorry, it doesn't.
It just proved it, it just showed you the weight.
Yeah, but it doesn't tell me what you are.
Constable, if I put 10 tonne of weight on your shoulders, your body and the 10 tonne weigh. It's not just the axle. Please do not test my intelligence. Whatever's in the back will push down on the axle and show an axle weight.
I know the laws of physics.
Right, so exactly. So why can't your laws of physics on there?
I still need to know.
No, you still need to gain access to my vehicle. That's what you're trying to gain access to.
I'm not trying to gain access. I'm just trying to get some information, which will get you out of here faster than you realise.
Nothing to do with getting out of it. I'll sit here all day because I'm not being awkward, Constable.
Jay calls it exactly as it is, and that's where the friction really shows. He's under no obligation to grant access to his vehicle, and asserting that right doesn't suddenly become suspicious just because it's inconvenient. What stands out is the role reversal. He ends up explaining basic weight limits and practical realities to someone who's supposed to be applying the law, not guessing around it. When the facts stop moving, the tactic changes. Labeling him awkward isn't a legal observation, it's a personal one, and it usually appears when control of the interaction is slipping. It reframes a lawful refusal as a character issue, shifting attention away from the lack of grounds and onto the person standing their ground. That kind of language isn't about behavior in any meaningful sense. It's about frustration. It's easier to suggest someone is being difficult than to admit the stop no longer has a solid basis. At that point, the focus drifts from enforcing anything specific to trying to regain authority over the situation.
What are you worried about?
I'm not worried about it. Why
So why can't I look at it?
Why are you saying I'm worried?
Sorry?
Why are you saying I'm worried?
Well,
I'm not
you won't
worried.
allow me access to the van. What do you think I'm going to do when I open the door? Attack you or something?
I don't trust you. I don't trust
You
you.
don't trust me?
No.
What have I done to make you
Nothing
feel
what you do, Constable.
threatened?
It's the corporation.
What have I
People
done?
get maimed
What have
and
I
die
done to
in the
make
name
you
of that
feel
police
threatened?
name. People have been maimed and died, several in the last year,
Right.
under that name. So I'm staying this side of the door.
Okay.
You're all armed with weaponry.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
You're all armed with
I'll tell you what I
weaponry.
will do. I'll tell you what I'll do.
You're all armed
To
with
make it
weaponry.
easy for yourself.
You've got weaponry about your person.
What I'll
that
do,
can be used
what-
at will,
Give
Constable.
me a chance to talk.
Don't
What I'll
clench
do
your
to
fist
make
at
it
me.
easy for you is I'll go over there. You have a look. You write it down. I'll even give you my pen.
No, it doesn't
You
matter,
write it
Constable.
down for me, and then I will come
The minute
nowhere
I
near
open this
you.
door, you'll be rifling for everything.
You
You'll be
want
doing.
my
No,
pen?
I don't trust you,
Use your
Constable.
own pen. Write it down for me.
I don't trust you, Constable.
Sorry?
I don't trust you.
Because you're refusing to give me the information that I need.
It's nothing to do with the information. I'll give you the logbook to
But
show
that
you.
just gives-
That question tries to shift responsibility onto Jay when it doesn't belong there. He doesn't owe an explanation for refusing access, especially after a stop that's been built on changing assumptions rather than clear, consistent grounds. Refusal in that context isn't about hiding anything. It's about maintaining boundaries, and those boundaries become even more important when multiple officers are pressing for entry without identifying a specific power that justifies it. The imbalance is obvious. They have authority, presence, and numbers, while he's left relying on his documentation and his right to keep his vehicle private. That right doesn't disappear just because it's inconvenient for the officers. If anything, it matters more in situations like this. Once persistence starts replacing justification, the dynamic shifts. What should be a lawful, clearly defined interaction risks turning into something else entirely. Holding the line at that point isn't evasive. It's a way of ensuring the encounter stays within legal limits, rather than drifting into a search driven by pressure instead of proper authority.
Member of the public.
That just gives me the gross
who's a
vehicle weight.
courier,
Right.
who's trying to do his job of work.
And what do you think I'm doing? Going about my business, Constable. You're holding me
You're
up.
refusing.
I'm not
to cooperate
refusing,
with the
but I'll get out
operation.
then.
Why would I want to do anything different?
Because your corporation live on corruption. I'm sorry, Constable. That's the way it works. Right, so where's this super plate then? It isn't there. Absolute fallacy. You pulled me on the accusation
Would
I was
be-
overweight.
Would I be allowed to look under the
You
bonnet?
pulled me on the allegation I was overweight, and it's an absolute fallacy.
I've checked the weights, and you're within the limits that are allowed.
Right, thank you,
Okay.
Constable. I just think this is a bit over the top. I've had a lot of bad
my
press
name?
in Cambridge
Do you need
Police.
my details?
No, it's all right. I've got everyone's numbers. I'm going. I'm going.
Please don't.
I'm going.
All right, sir.
What really brings it into focus is the moment they accuse Jay of holding up the driver behind him, when in reality, the delay was created entirely by the stop itself. That kind of blame shifting isn't about traffic management or safety. It's a pressure tactic designed to make him feel responsible so he's more likely to comply. The time Jay finally allows access to the back of the van, nothing new has been established. No fresh evidence, no new grounds, just time and persistence. He'd already provided the paperwork, explained the weight limits, and even pointed them toward checks they could have carried out from the beginning. Letting them look doesn't validate the stop. It simply brings an unnecessarily prolonged interaction to an end, and the conclusion says everything. The final system check confirms the van is within legal limits, exactly as Jay had maintained throughout. No offense, no further action, and he's free to go. Seen clearly, This wasn't a case of officers uncovering a borderline issue. It was a situation where initial assumptions weren't corrected. Responsibility was shifted onto the driver, and the stop was stretched out until the facts could no longer be ignored.